Singapore is set to vote in its first election since 2011. But you can't talk politics here without mentioning Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's first prime minister, largely credited with transforming this tiny island into one of the wealthiest places on the planet. Lee Kuan Yew was a pragmatic leader, pro-business and anti-corruption, but he also didn't tolerate dissent. Lee Kuan Yew held the top job for about 30 years. The party he founded, the PAP, or People's Action Party, was, for decades, really the only game in town. Lee was succeeded by Goh Chok Tong in 1990, and Lee's son, Hsien Loong, became Singapore's third prime minister in 2004. But in 2011, the earth shook. Voters cast their mandatory ballots, and the PAP only received about 60% of the vote, the smallest percentage to date. Hsien Loong said it was time to do some soul-searching. Fast forward to the current election, and it's a similar story with slightly different issues. Slowing economic growth, the gap between rich and poor, concerns over immigration. The government says it's been working to address these, while keeping civil rights, critics say, strictly in check. Singapore's leaders, though, have always been unapologetic, saying these limits are necessary to maintain stability and harmony. Meanwhile, the typically fragmented opposition is back, with the Workers' Party dominating and some half a dozen others leveraging social networks to build support. 2015 has already been a year of transition for Singapore, with the death of founding father Lee Kuan Yew in March and the recent feel-good celebrations of the nation's Golden Jubilee, raising the question of whether the ruling party is perhaps banking on the emotion of the people to vote in their favor. All of this making it hard to say if the opposition can repeat 2011's gains, but at the very least, that uncertainty, some Singaporeans say, will keep the PAP accountable and on its toes.